Somebody on the track told us that the Bindies at well 51 were next level. Yep, they are. We're continuing our journey northbound. We're heading towards Mount Romilly now, and we have found some scrapey trees. Again, this is as overgrown as we've probably seen it in terms of green thickness on either side of the track. Not the spot you want to meet oncoming traffic. I'd like to say the scenery out there is nice, but you can't actually see above these hedges. It's like you're driving in a tunnel. Okay, we're just going up a little, I don't know, rocky rise that we found. Looks pretty cool. A little spot to park up here.
That hill that Terry just drove up doesn't look very steep in the video, but it is. And good melon holes.
There's Mount Romilly out there. We're gonna go check that out in a second. We'll go down this little track here, but this is cool. Just a little rise or a knoll out in the middle of the desert. And it feels great after driving through all those closed in tracks. Now we're on something that's wide open. I don't know, it's like you can stretch your arms out or something. There's a lake out there with some water in it too. Cool. Rode for a good hour now since well 47. We still haven't got to the turnoff of Mount Romilly yet.
No, and on the map it looks like it's going to be one of those quick corrugated swale runs, but it is not. It is just scrapey, slow, rocks every once in a while. We just went through a washout section.
I can breathe for a second. We are just approaching Mount Romilly on a track that is not as used as the main track, of course, but there has been recent people out here anyway. The Spinifex has all been knocked down in the middle of the track, but these guys on the sides, they're still pretty vicious. And there's Mount Romilly in the foreground. We're on a track that's kind of skirting along the base of Mount Romilly, and I suspect it'll come to an end here shortly and we can climb up the rest of the way. This looks like it.
We're at Mount Romilly and we're going to climb up it to the can.
There is no track up there that we can see anyway, so we're just going to bash up the face of the track. Sound good, hun? Got to watch out for these burnt little spiky bits. Those are nasty. Little suckers. I don't know whether the camera's going to pick it, but pretty much center of shot, you can see a light patch going down one of those hills. That was that little hill that we were on earlier that we drove down the face of. And here's Jill at the top of Romilly. Yeah, not too far away. We'll just walk over to the can, and it's all prickly. All across the canning stock route you see these Department of Lands Administration warning signs for these survey markers or benchmarks. Well, we're up on the top of Mount Romilly, and as far as cans go, that's pretty impressive. I'll ask Jill to stand up beside it and you can just see this thing for scale. Somebody has done a whole shit ton of effort, yeah.
I threw mine on the wall.
Okay, I got it too. Okay, here goes mine. Yoink! It stayed. It wasn't as good as yours though. All right, back down the hill to Lollies.
No, cup of soup.
Oh, cup soup. Then lollies. Leaving Mount Romilly, heading back to the main CSR track, and we're gonna go and try and find a spot that Matt and Holly put us on to out near Breadon Pool, but not at Breadon Pool. So we'll see how we get on. The travelers that were heading in a southerly direction that we've met have all said that you can't get into Breadon Pool at the moment. The track is just too overgrown.
They couldn't find it. Yeah.
Well, we're only about 3.5 kilometers from the Breadon Pool turnoff, and as you can see, the track has not relented. It has been growing over now since well 43, and we are approaching well 48. That's over 100 kilometers easy. It is a full on. We've got the Breadon Hills in front of us, but we haven't been able to get an unobstructed view of them yet. Well, I put the drone up at the intersection of the Breadon Pool track and the CSR, and there are two tracks that go back, both of them very well defined. We met a group coming out of Breadon Pool who couldn't find it, and that was the reports that we've got from everybody along the way. So rather than going down that Breadon Pool track and not finding it, we're going to go down this other little track, and I believe this is the one that Matt and Holly were talking about. It's not very long. It's only about a kilometer, maybe 2 maximum. Goes back to a little turnaround spot in a valley. This Breadon Hills area is bloody beautiful. The way those channels run back in there and the green follows it back in. Very pretty.
We might be lucky to see it green. I don't think it's normally this green.
I think you're right. Like, look at these little...
Everything's got a green tinge.
It does. Like these broccoli bushes, I bet they would be, you know, that bluey green or even bluey brown.
Are those tea tree?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Broccoli bush.
Do not call the plants what we call them. They are not correct. Put a disclaimer under there, Terry.
What you are looking at in all its glory is well 48, and that is one depressed little hollow that used to be a well. Holy guacamole, I thought there were a lot of buckets at the last well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this thing, whatever it is, and there's not much of anything else here. Man, could you imagine finding this spot and saying, yeah, we're going to dig here, and you got to dig through all of this rock. Geez, pickaxe and shovels, that would have been hard going. It's not like that sand country. It's at the base of the Breadon Hills out there, and it's spectacular. It's probably got the best outlook of all of the wells. We are now leaving well 48, which is only about 3.5 kilometers off of the main CSR, and we are looking for a forest of desert oaks for our next camp. We may indeed camp there a few nights, but we gotta find them first. Nice to be back in country that's opened up and got a lot of visual stunningness to it. Because being trapped in that claustrophobic overgrowth, that starts to get to you after a while. You start to get cabin fever. How cool does that look? These green little shrubs everywhere, the brown spinifex, and the mountains in the background. That is visually stunning. That peak in front of us is called Twin Head. I wonder where it gets its name from. Just turned around in the opposite direction so that I could put the drone up and get that Twin Head in the background. And I'm presented with what's in front of us there, which used to be behind us. Awesome! I wonder if we'll see a lion or a zebra or a giraffe. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like we're in Africa. Not that I know, because I've never been there, but saw pictures. That little upside down Mexican hat guy is Mount Ernest. So that's 2 Mexican hats we've seen on this trip.
We had a mouse at the other Mexican hat, so I hope we don't have any mice now.
No. I like that guy a lot.
It's a head buried in the ground. That's the nose sticking out.
Like on Mars. What we have here is a Ford Exploder. I don't know when this sucker broke down and when she burnt, but she's been here a while. I'll tell you, they're game taking an Explorer out here. I don't know whether I would have. Whether that was the reason that it came to its end or not, I'm not sure. We're probably only about 10 kilometers from well 49 at the moment, just leaving the Breadon Hills behind us. Welcome to well 49. Looking at this troughing and the bracing around the troughing, you'd think that this well is toast. Well, in actual fact, it has been restored and it has got some very good water in it. So for us, this is the last well that has good water. If you're heading south, it's going to be your first well that has good water. Holy smoke, she's deep. That's probably 30 feet, maybe 35 feet down there. Well 49 does have a toilet, and it's also got a makeshift ranger's hut, which is basically a shipping container underneath a bit of color bond roof. But hey, it gets the job done, I guess. Back in Canada, when it was snowing and you were driving in the snowstorm, the snowflakes would shoot towards the windscreen and put you into a coma. This is not too dissimilar from the coma perspective anyway. Just cannot see anything outside of this narrow tunnel of shrub. We're now north of well 49, heading towards well 50. We were hoping to jag a camp somewhere alongside of the track, but don't know. Oh, is that a fabled forest of desert oak in front of us? I think it might have been.
I have everything crossed.
Okay, stick with us.
Here goes a fuzzy caterpillar through our desert oak camp. Canadians would pick up this caterpillar and play with it and let it roll in a ball. Us Aussies know better, because you will have a horrid allergic reaction and be itchy inside and out. You only ever do it once, and that is plenty. Very cute though. It's 6:52 a.m. and the flies were out by 6 o'clock this morning because it's quite warm. This is the camp we have just chilled out at for a couple of days now.
3 days.
2, 3, something, blowing flies out of my nose. They're persistent. Very relaxing under the desert oaks. It's very quiet right now. They were singing us their song a little bit earlier, but not at the moment. There's no breeze.
Good morning, Jafffa Adventures.
Yeah.
Today, we are leaving our desert oak camp. We have spent the last 3 nights here just chilling and decompressing, and it's been absolutely fantastic. We've only got 2 wells left on the canning, 50 and 51. We're potentially going to camp at Stretch Lagoon today. We're certainly going to check it out. And as you can see on the windscreen, there's a little bit of rain around the area. Just a couple of spots of rain here and there. Around this well 49 area, there are 2 campsites about 6 kilometers north of 49 that are desert oak camps. And that's it. It's a very small stand of desert oaks. You miss those 2 camps and you're out of the oaks again and into the scrub scrapey. Not too far north of well 49 is another wreck. Somebody scratched in forward on that tailgate, but I reckon they got it wrong. I think this is a Prado by the looks of things. The old Engel fridge. She's not keeping anything too cool now. Yes, she is well and truly burnt out. There is nothing left. Looks like somebody's unbolted the turbo and they were going to scab it and then found out that it's completely wrecked and useless. That's it. I wonder what the story was there. Was it Spinifex grass that lit this one up? Only the owner will really know, I guess. Lots of shit out here on the track and burnt sand on the track as well. So I wonder maybe somebody skull dragged that off the track. Just keep the track clear. But it actually burnt right here. Lots of melted alloy. Nasty. Coming into well 50, and I could tell you if this ever got wet in here, oh my goodness, this would be nasty. It's like a giant clay pan covered with snappy gums. Little snappy gums, big snappy gums. It's a massive clay pan though, isn't it? Wow.
There it is.
Here is our well. Well number 50. What have we got here? A depressed hollow, the old timber for the troughs, and a few old buckets. And that is it for well 50. My first impressions of this well were influenced by that massive clay pan that we crossed to get in here. All those lovely white snappy gums growing out of it. And then boom, here we are at the well, at the side of the clay pan. Looked like there was pretty decent camping around that clay pan as well. Just probably be a little bit dusty. Another one bites the dust. We are only about 2 kilometers from well 51, the last well on our sojourn. And here we go. One more dead car. And this sucker is being pilfered. Somebody needed a chunk of exhaust pipe, so they've chopped it out of there with a grinder. The stories these wrecks could tell, hey? We are only about 1 kilometer from well 51 and the end of our CSR journey, and the landscape has changed once again. It has flattened out completely and it has all turned into this short grass now. The Spinifex is gone. We're now in cattle country as well. There's cows all over the place. Saw a few when we came through those gates.
There's the well, because there's windmill.
Yep, old broken down windmills signifying where the well is. A couple of termite mounds standing sentinel to the last well on the track. Or the first if you're coming the other direction.
I like how the termite mounds are dark. Like it's obviously dark soil.
Yeah.
Even though the track looks light, and then here's red.
Yeah, somebody threw a sand dune in for good measure. Somebody on the track told us that the bindies at well 51 were next level. Yep, they are. There's our well 51. The only thing we've got left is a depression in the ground, and a very shallow one at that. Bit of cow poo laying in it, and that's about it. That windmill's seen better days as well. Looks like it got hit by a cyclone. It's been chewed up and spat out. So what are my first impressions of well 51? Well, I guess it's more about the emotion than anything else.
Depression.
Depression like the well? Definitely we've got a bit of sadness because it's the end of the journey, but also, I don't know, I feel like a great sense of accomplishment.
Me too.
We've been out here solo for 3 weeks, doing the canning stock route. That's pretty special.
Route. You still haven't got it yet.
Well done, hon.
All right.
Good job.
All right.
So from Jill and I to you guys out there, thanks for enjoying the journey with us. We'll catch you next time on Jafffa Adventures. Bye now.